Crime, Fame, Fortune, and Glory, Identity Crisis. Page, page 46, The Third Story, starring Phoenix. If I can recall correctly, it was about 10:30 that night. I was walking home from work, coming down Riverdale Road, the freeway, almost a mile from the Ruby Tuesday restaurant where I worked part-time as a dishwasher. About 45 minutes into my walk, exhausted after pulling an 8-hour shift for June. Thanks, Phoenix. I appreciate it. Sam, the night boss, said to me before shutting the door behind. Then I began my walk home. The arch in my foot hurt. On top of that, I was soaking wet, which made it even that much colder. It was the middle of October. Funny, just like 3 weeks ago, it was hot out. Believe it or not, now look, it's freezing cold. I'm seriously bundled up in my black army jacket, gray Timberlands, and dark blue jeans that were neatly cuffed at the hems. It was a quiet night, not much going on. Maybe an occasional car passed by, flashing its high beams at me or honking its horn, but nothing serious. So here I am, splashing through the wet grass. My feet are cold, like seriously numb. Both hands crunched up in my pockets, rolled up like a ball. I could vaguely see the intersection up ahead. Damn, I'm so tired. I was thinking as the cold air hit my cheeks. When almost out of nowhere, I could have sworn I noticed someone further up the road. Is this person coming towards me or away from me? Phoenix asked himself. That's when it struck me. How odd for someone else to be walking this late at night. Quickly, fear grabbed his heart. Because Phoenix has been living in this area for years, working here, and has never seen anyone out walking this late at night, aside from himself, hoping this was a woman, perhaps out to get milk for her child, or some old acquaintance of his he hadn't seen in a while. I doubt it. Nevertheless, still following the three shadows as he passed each tall street lamp. I could vaguely hear something up the road, Phoenix thought to himself, baffled at what his eyes caught a glimpse of earlier. I was embarrassed by the fearful panic that overtook me. Chills on the lower back of my neck grew intense. In spite of the fear, Phoenix rushed up quickly as he could. Then all of a sudden, woof, 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 sound of dogs barking startled him. You sure caught me by surprise, Phoenix thought. Grab a hold of yourself, I thought. I couldn't help but be puzzled because the sudden calmness in the air. Shortly after, I realized there hadn't been a car drive past in a good 5 or 10 minutes or so. It must have clearly been good 200 steps away from this person. I could pay more attention to him now. It wasn't a woman, as I thought. To defeat that circumstance wasn't anyone I'd met before earlier. Or was it? Little too early to tell. But the way he walked was familiar. The closer and closer I got, the more clear, more focused this young man became. Focused enough to judge his appearance. Coincidentally, he was dressed in the same attire as I: black jacket, gray Timberlands, and blue jeans. Roughly my height, muscle tone, weight, everything. But I had to be sure. I mean, look at the odds. My hand still firmly shoved in my front pockets, tightening my muscles as my bare flesh came up against a sudden gust of wind again. I could hear the sound of gravel crunching beneath my feet as I walked the sidewalk. Now only 7 blocks from my home, about 25 away from this stranger ahead of me. I could say I did recognize him, but wasn't sure still. Where or have I seen him? I aggressively asked myself. The closer and closer he became to me, the more and more familiar this person ahead of me was. The two of us continued walking as if there were not a care in the world, racing to our destination. Home was I. He, who knows? I suppose the thought of me thinking I recognized him earlier made me think I was safe. But what if I didn't recognize him? On the other hand, if I didn't recognize him, that would be embarrassing. A few seconds had passed. As we got closer, I watched him. He watched me. For a split second, I'll just walk right by as though we were we never met. How ridiculous. You'll think I'm stupid, strange. My nerves were jumping. What once was fear of being hurt was now fear of being noticed. We were finally eye to eye, he and I. This person I thought I recognized earlier wasn't, and in fact, a total stranger. But just as I said earlier, he was dressed in the same clothes as I: identical shirt, pants, boots, and black jacket, everything. Naturally, I extended my hand out to greet him. Hi, my name is Phoenix. He looked me in the eye. So, out of curiosity and common courtesy, of course, I attempted to ask him his name. But before a word could utter out of my mouth, he extended out his hand and said, Hi, I'm Phoenix. Who are you? We looked each other in the eye. For a brief moment, I was shocked out of my mind, speechless. I couldn't utter a word if I tried. I actually walked into myself and shook my own hand that night.